feeling like you're attacking them. Oh, Ma, come on, get away. Because I know I get it from my kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So have you found that?
You were in my head when I wrote this because that was really the premise of me writing the topics of discussion. Because two things I wanted to happen was it could be a book report, it could be symposium questions with the teacher and student or the parent and child. And basically you said that. You said what I wanted. And it's funny, my mother has noticed that there are a lot of fiction books with topics of discussion and questions in the back. And to this day, she swears that I started that trend. She said, "Jerald, nobody was doing that back then." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but Ma." She said, "Nobody was doing that." You know, so I said, "Okay, Ma, I'll take the credit. Okay, you want to give it to me?" But yeah, exactly what you said, because a lot of messages on here are subliminal, and some of them are overt, and some of them are just knock you right in the head. Or however, but the thing was, I was trying to get young men and women to talk. Start talking, because peer pressure is a monster. I mean, that's the boogeyman in the room, or pink elephant in the room. But when people understand that leadership comes with a price, and sometimes that price is being by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I used to compare leadership with my son to the Empire State Building in New York, where the steeple, I mean, shows you it's kind of by itself. There's no flat roof. You know, it's by itself. And sometimes a leader has to be by themselves. Doesn't mean they're gonna be lonely. But sometimes when the crowd wants to go over here, sometimes you might have to go over here. One of the things I used to tell young men, I still do when I go to schools, I say, I ask a question, how many here have cell phones? Of course, 95% raise their hand. I say, okay, tell you what, you have a sixth sense. In other words, if you're with a crew of people, boys or girls, and you know something about to jump off, or they want to do something silly, fake a phone call. Now, I'm not a proponent for lying, but my thing is, act like your phone's ringing. Ma, what happened? Something happened? Okay, be right there. Gotta go. And this way, you don't even
That's
have
awesome.
that. You don't even ask questions. You just, I'm out. So this way, if something jump off and somebody knock on your door, I don't see nothing. I didn't see anything. I don't know anything. I left him on the corner. I left him on the corner of this and this, and I was out of here. And that's it. This way, you don't have to be a snitch. You don't have to be involved in anything. But you have to learn how to listen to that sixth sense. When you know something's about to jump off, you get up out of there.
That's great advice, you guys. Like, I've never thought of that, but I will definitely start telling my kids that, look, dude, pick up your phone, pretend. Whatever, that's awesome. Because then, yeah, you don't have to worry about what people think. Because everybody knows to come when their mamas call. And I don't care if you are the toughest guy in the street or whatever. If your mother call, then you have to go right then, and nobody's going to question you. Awesome.
It's funny you say about mamas. And my travels in schools, and I've been in schools all over the country. I mean, I really have. And now, no disrespect to men, because I'm a man myself, but I've seen schools run in some of the worst neighborhoods like clockwork by women. I'm talking about little women, too. I mean, I ain't talking about big imposing type women. I'm talking about little women that were mamas that could say, "Johnny, go to class." "Okay, Miss Harriet." I mean, and you don't hear too much because it's something about that mother, you know what I mean, that you gonna know, all right, listen, there's so far I can go with mama. And so it's funny you said that. Yeah, but when kids see mama calling, gotta run.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
So have you had a lot of moms come to you and say thank you?
Man, I'm glad you asked me that question. I was just thinking about this the other day, and I wish I find her to this day, the mother I'm talking about. I was at an event, so I didn't get a chance to get her information. But she came to me. She said, "Mr. Hoover, thank you for your book." I said, "You're welcome." She said, "No, you don't understand. Thank you in a way that my son is reading your book." And I said, "Oh, great." She said, No, you don't understand. My son doesn't like to read, right?" She said he can read, but he doesn't like to read. She said, so one night, it was time for him to go to bed. I guess 9:30. And she says, "Well, go to bed." And he's like, "Well, Ma, let me finish this chapter." And she's like, "Okay, now the boy don't like to read, so what do I do?" She said, "Okay, all right, 10 more minutes, finish this chapter. You better go to bed. Lights out, go to bed." So I guess about 10:30 or so, she goes to check on him.
He's still reading?
The light is out, but she goes to the back room, and little Johnny has the cover over his head with a flashlight, reading the book. And I was like, but I wasn't, in between a session I was doing. I was like, I wish I got her number and the name of the son would have, I would have loved to have kept in touch with him. And this was, believe it or not, about 15 years ago.
So, look, we're putting it out there. The universe will send you that lady. She'll tag you.
There you
she'll
go.
tag you. She'll email you. She's going to find you, and you guys are going to reconnect.
Yes,
So, how many books are in this series, then?
4 books. Like it's 4 books. It's the hero book series. And the reason why I call it the hero book series is that I want people to realize that the word heroes in it, but it's a book series. Because I could easily say hero series, but it's a hero book series. And again, when you see these young men and women on the cover, you'll see. But it's called Hero Book Series. My Friend, My Hero is the first one. He Was My Hero 2. It's TOO, second one. A Hopeful Hero is the third, and Hoop Hero is the fourth. Now Hoop Hero kind of gives you the idea that it's going to be about basketball, which it is, right? It's about basketball, but it's about basketball and life. Right, so I if anybody remember the movie Cooley High or Cornbread All on Me or some of those kind of movies, the book will choke you up, or make you cry, it'll make you laugh, or make you angry, it'll make you think. So it does a lot of that, and I did that on purpose. And I learned at an early age in writing that as a writer, you can manipulate your audience to do almost anything. This is why again, it's so positive. It's so powerful to write something positive, especially for young people. I mean, because you can write something crazy, and kids will follow that.
Yeah,
and so
work on their mind.
Yeah.
They don't even realize
exactly.
why they're thinking certain things.
Yeah, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind is a powerful thing. And when you're reading and you're starting to delve into that subconscious mind, this is where a lot of those messages of being proper and doing certain things. Now, the good thing about it is that these kids are not perfect, and that's the part about heroism is concerned. Is that okay? They fell, got back up, fell, got back up, fell, got back up. And the series itself is powerful to me because I didn't want the story to end. Just like when I wrote the first book, this one here, this one's my baby there. But when I wrote that one, I had book 2 in my mind, which book 2 is already complete. But when I finished book 2, I ended it in a cliffhanger. I won't tell too much. That's all I'm saying to it. Is that I was like, man, I need more, because I've had some people read. I was like, man, I need more of this. I need more of this. I'm like, okay, so it's a beautiful thing that people can read something from scratch, and delve into it and love it. Now, about the rejection, I don't want to forget that point. I got rejected over a 9-year period, really 8-year period, over 40 times. Right?
That's a lot.
Yeah, and the first 10 drafts I wrote by hand. Literally, every word in there was written by hand. The first 9 times, the 10th time I think I did it audio. I tried to do that, didn't work. But I literally would have a loose leaf notebook or a spiral notebook, and I would write, and my cousin Ronald would edit it. He would look at it. He would give me either postage notes or write a whole page, stick it to where it needs to be, or he'd write on the side. Now my cousin.
Why, is he a teacher?
No, he's just smart. He's really a smart man, but he's a reader. And what happened was, I went to his house once, and I saw he had a library of books. So when I started mine, I said, Ron, I want you to take a look at it. Now I'm gonna tell you what's interesting, and it's a true story. Young men, young women, understand this. This is very true. When I wrote the first draft, I did it in about 3 months. I hadn't read a book myself from cover to cover, and I was 17. Now, I had writing talent, because this wasn't the first book that I tried to write, but my talent was superior to my reading. Now, I did read. I mean, I read the Bible, and man, I'm going to tell you a fun story about that. When I wrote the first draft, I gave it to my cousin, and in my mind, I'm bragging like, hey, man, I wrote this great book, and I never read one. Now, I used to do book reports. I would do book reports. I would read the inner notes and then the outer notes.
And that gets you through college.
And then I rewrite stuff and I would get A's. I never got any less than a B in a book report. And this is from 3rd grade on to 12th grade.
Hold up. Let me tell y'all something. Most of the time, life don't work like that. Most of the time, you gotta work hard. Take it from somebody who knows. I have to study certain things. It doesn't come naturally. And a lot of times when it do come naturally, though, a lot of people don't know that work ethic, because everything just came naturally. And readers are leaders, you guys. But finish.
But I'm gonna tell you a point. Now I'm gonna add credence to what you're saying.
Okay.
So I wrote the first draft, and I said to myself, I'm gonna brag to him that I wrote this, and not just to him. I wanted to brag to everyone, like
Yeah.
getting on Oprah. Like, I don't read books, but I wrote this great one. Now that sounds really stupid. Now I'm just being honest with you. It sounds
That's
stupid.
young.
Yeah, young,
Yeah.
17. I'm not in my 50s, so it goes to show. But when I gave it to him, I never forget. I gave it to him at church, right? I gave him the spiral notebook. He said, "Give me a week. I'll go through it." So okay, I gave him the whole week. Then I saw him in church the next Sunday. I said, "What do you think?" He says, "I'm gonna call you tonight." Now, I went from so I'm gonna call you tonight. Then he walks away.
You were supposed to just tell me it's great.
No. Okay, wait a minute. He said, "I'm gonna call you tonight at 8:00." Now, back in the days, when you call someone, if someone's on the phone, it was a busy signal. So I had to make sure my mother and my sister were not on the phone. I was guarding the phone, like, do not answer the phone. I mean, don't be on the phone. I gotta.
And the phone was attached to the wall.
Yes. So I was.
walk around with it.
So you exactly. There you go. It wasn't no what you call a hands free or like a wireless.
You had to have a long
it wasn't no
cord.
wireless and those were used as weapons too.
Yeah.
By my mother was.
Yeah,
Another story. Yeah. But so when the phone rang, I picked up on the first ring. And he said, "You sitting down?" No, now I'm really messed up, all right? Because you make me wait all day. So he calls me, and the beam that I once had was like this. He was like, "You don't read books." I mean, he's yelling now. I'm like, "What are you talking about? You don't read." I'm like, "I do read." He says, "Well, what do you read?" I said, "Well, I read the Bible and I read newspapers." He said, "That's great if you want to be a preacher and a journalist." Now I'm a deacon in church and I teach Sunday school and I'm a sports journalist. So he worked that part out. But he said, if you want to be a real writer, you got to read. Now at that time it didn't make sense to me because again I'm doing book report. Matter of fact, I was so good at writing that I used to write love letters for my friends. So friends that had like girlfriends said, "Yo, Hoove, write letters so and so." I write the letter and put their name on it.
Because here's what happens: the girl falls in love with the writer, and then finds out that the writer is not the writer, and you will lose the girl.
No, I put their name on it, so it was good. They got credit for that, but they owe me money for that because some of them married them chicks,
goodness.
so I get
That's
my
entrepreneur thinking.
there you go. But when he told me, he said, you gotta read books, and so he said read 5 books. Now mind you, he's telling me read 5 books. I hadn't read one. So I'm thinking 5 books. My first thought was 6 months, a year. Because he said I'm gonna give you back this manuscript until you read those books. So I went to the school the next day and I picked up first book I picked up was Miss Jane Pittman, and Sister Tyson played in that, and the other ones I got from The Outsiders, that series. So I went home, dedicated myself to reading. I read all 5 books in 10 days. Now I'm gonna tell you what was interesting. When I read the first book. Now, I'm gonna tell you what he told me. He said, and don't try to be slick. He said, because I read books all the time. I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm like, oh gosh, because my first thing in my mind was read in the notes and keep it moving. But what he wanted me to do was see how stuff was structured.
The writing styles,
or just like give you an example. Put in parentheses and next to quotes quotes. I wasn't doing that. And then I don't know what he saw in me until this day. I really don't. I don't know what he saw in me to see that I had writing talent because the way I see it now, the whole structure was wrong. But I guess he saw the story within, he saw the message behind the story, and so I had to rewrite. And now, funny story, I'm reading everything and I'm trying to memorize stuff like an actor. I'm memorizing things that was totally whatever. So I'm like, when he asks me these questions, I'll be ready. And this is funny things when I talk to the kids in school. I said, how many questions do you think he asked me? 1,000, 100, and then with that one kid will understand and be like 0.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you win the prize. He said, here.
Put in your head.
He said, here, now rewrite it. I'm like, I did all that studying for nothing. But when I went back to the drawing board, I said, oh, now I see now, and that gained his respect because I did less than 2 weeks, and then when he saw the next draft, it was remarkably different.
Seen the growth.
So the growth. He said, okay, now I'm gonna help you. And then he helped me. And he helped me when I started. Then when I finally got it in double spaced in manuscript form, that's when the rejection letters just started. That's when they just started back to back.
So how did you handle that? Because a lot of people do not know how to handle rejection, but it is key to get to where you want to go.
Good question. Now, in 2018, I wish I would have kept the letters. But in 1984, 85, 86, no. You're too kind. I went to the incinerator.
Oh my goodness.
Rip, burn. I mean, I wasn't even boiling them up. I didn't want them in the house. I lived in the project at the time. And then I put them in the incinerator. Let them blow up. I mean, let them burn up. Because I didn't want anything negative next to me. Because I'm thinking that the next one's going to be the one. Next one's going to be the one. And it wasn't until from 83, well, 84 is when I started sending them out, to 92 was when I got it. Now, when I got the letter, no, I got a phone call from a man, and he says, I will print up 1,000 copies if you can sell 500. I'm like, wait a minute, repeat that again. I will print up 1,000 copies if you can sell 500. Now, first of all, I wanted to make sure he was telling the truth, because now I'm in rejection 42 now. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm in my 40s in rejection. So I'm like, okay, send it to me in writing. So he sent me the letter. I got the letter. I never answered it. I never opened it. I mean, until like 2 days, because it was there. But I'm so used to opening it up and saying, unfortunately, I'm off my list. So I'm like, all right.
You gotta mentally prepare yourself.
It was a little trauma there. So I was like, all right, I ain't gonna open this thing for a couple of days. Finally opened it. And what he said was there. He signed his name and everything. And then he had a contract for me. I signed it, mailed it back. Okay. Then I'm thinking, wait a minute. I go to a big church. I'm from the projects. I know people, and I stuttered really bad, but I can speak. You know, when I get into a rhythm, like I'm talking now, I can talk. So I said, okay. I came up with an invoice. Now, I don't know how I did this. God just downloaded to me how I put name, address, phone number, amount, unit. I mean, I did all kinds of stuff. I made my own in a Word document. So we had a family reunion that year in Boston. And I drove my grandparents and the old folks, right? I was the youngest kid. And I drove up to Boston. We had a family reunion. It was about 400 people there. And they had like a program where people can come up there and talk or do talent stuff. They said I can come up and make an announcement about my book. Why did I do that? Made an announcement, had the invoice sheet, 200 right there.
See, wait, I want you to make sure you guys get this. A lot of the times people go, oh, I want to make it big, but it's that initial hustle. Even with like artists, how you guys sell your CDs or your music to your friends, family first, you have to establish an audience first before others take notice and say, okay, we got a gem here. And also, those rejection letters wasn't just about your stuff isn't good enough. It was also God's way of preparing you and making sure you were ready for the success. So you got to go through some type of growth sometimes before you can get to where you want, because God doesn't want to give you something that you can't handle, because then you just screw up your blessing. So go ahead.
No, you're 100% right. So I came up with that. That was 200 plus. I'm sorry, because I filled up. It went from 1 to 25. I think I still filled up like 8 sheets. It was bananas. And so, but these are pre-orders. So then, when I got home, I'm knocking on the project doors. knocking on the doors. I don't, and matter of fact, no, it's funny. I used to say Girl Scout cookies, you know, because they used to do, back in my neighborhood, they used to go door to door.
Nobody can resist Girl Scout cookies. By the way, if there's anybody still selling them, tell me.
Call me,
yeah.
Call a brother too. But I knocked on doors, and I don't know how many, but I got a lot. My church was really big with me, but all told, I sold 972 within a 3 to 4 month span. The only reason why I didn't sell 1,000 because he gave me 25 on the house, you know, as promotional copies. But I sold all of them within like a 4 month period, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And that's when things started happening. That's when I met the lady that I mentioned before, Miss Braxton. Then I went to Eastern High School, and she had me go there for 3 years straight in May. And that's when I had my confidence. Now, I mentioned that I stuttered, and I still do. I was born with a stuttering problem. It got worse when I was 8 years old. So everybody who knew me as a stutterer. But for some reason, when I get on television, radio, in front of an audience, I've spoken at countless graduations in front of hundreds of strangers.
People,
yeah, I'm calm. And I'm zeroed in on what I want to say. But you get me one-on-one or around the family, I will stutter. So it's kind of amazing when friends will come with me to an event and they'll see me talking and they're like,
"Wait, what's that about?
Who is that?" So I get a kick out of that. But for some reason, because this has been inside me so long, that I know that my mission is to try to help young people. And to the point, I have a press release that's going to be coming out pretty soon. to relaunch, because we're going to do an official relaunch of My Friend, My Hero in January. And one of the things is I'm looking to get 1 million young boys to read the book. Now, mind you,
I
girls
have 6
read
at
it.
home.
Oh, beautiful. Girls read it. Men read. I've had that, but I need the 12 to 20 young men to read it. So I'm looking to get 1 million to read the book, and so that's my mission. Because if I get them young men to read this book, they'll read book 2, book 3, book 4, but they'll understand there's messages that are involved. If these young men do not know how to read and write, because there's a faction of young men and women that don't know how to tell time on a watch.
Oh my goodness, that drives me crazy. Miss Carter, what time is it? Miss
Yes.
Wilhite, what time is it? I'm like, the clock is right there. What time? I said, what is the long hand pointing at? What is the short hand?
You might as well be giving them Russian. All right. I mean, and
or
now,
tie their shoes.
yeah. Oh, now here's another thing. Because
Come on,
we know what's going on in schools. They can't write cursively. They can't write in the
They
script.
took it out. Oh no, my kids. Oh, you didn't learn it in school? Come on, sit down. Here, come on, because you're gonna learn this. Why do we gotta learn this? You need to learn how to sign your name. You need to learn how to read the Declaration of Independence. They don't want you to have the knowledge, and the best way to keep it is to not teach you the language. Nah.
Think about this. If you can't tell time, you can't tie your shoe properly, and you can't write in script, if you try to read an application for a job, how are you going to sign your name?
You can't.
And if don't have a job where you got to write an essay to get an application.
And then the stats show, guys, you got to look up the stats and realize what they're doing. Because if the stats show that if you don't read and write by the 4th grade, your chances of winding up in prison, which is a new form of slavery, or dead before the age of 25 goes up like drastically. So you got to do a better job. And I understand from a single parent perspective, you got to work, you got to put food on the table, but you got to take at least an hour a day to sit down with your child, educate them, talk to them about life. We always have different conversations in my topic, which in my house, which embarrasses the mess out of my kids. And people go, Naja, you talk to your kids like that? Don't get it twisted. You're daggone right, because I don't want them to find out certain stuff in the street.
And here's another thing. You got to talk to them right now.
Indeed.
Instead of doing it through the glass with the phone in your hand. You know what
that
I mean?
Hurts.
Yeah, that's more expensive. Now, to the point about the prison situation, what hurt me was a friend of mine, he's an electrician. I was just telling a story the other night. He went to a job in Sing Sing prison, and he was making $50 an hour. Okay, for 8 hours he made $400. All right, they assigned a prisoner with him. And as he told me, he said, "Yo, Hoove, the prisoner was nice, which means the prisoner probably was better than he was. You know, usually you say somebody's nice. The talent, he was right, and there's a young man in his book that, but we're gonna find out about who was nice, like the character. But he was nice with his stuff. He was getting 11 cents an hour to do the same job that the man was doing for $50 an hour.
So much talent is in the cemeteries and in the prison system. So much talent is wasted, and it's depressing, and then the rehabilitation systems is messed up. But so we gotta do better, and so that's why I'm glad that you decided to write this book. I'm sad that it's only 4 years. However, does it follow like them from freshman to senior or something?
Yeah, it does. First, My Friend, My Hero is the beginning. He Was My Hero 2 is the sequel. The prequel is A Hopeful Hero, which will answer your question about going to elementary to senior, and then Hope Hero is about this young man's brother. But I don't want to say too much, but the young man's brother who takes the reins as the best basketball player of Mount Vernon.
So when did you know that this was your calling? Because a lot of people don't even know why they're put on this earth, which is sad, but you got to do some soul searching. When did it hit you that this is what you're supposed to do?
I'm gonna tell you something scary. It came to me about. No, I wrote a speech. I know we have a few minutes left, but I wrote a speech, and the speech was written because my dad was a drug addict and alcoholic. So the speech was written in a way that I want to help young men and women to not do what my dad did. All right, because we didn't have what we have now, social media. So I was like, what am I gonna do with this book? I mean, this speech. I don't have any. You know, what kind of platform would I put this on? I wasn't famous. I can't fax it anywhere. So I'm playing basketball. I'll never forget this. I was playing basketball, and I had an epiphany while I was playing. I was on 4th Street Playground in Mount Vernon, and I'm playing basketball, and I had this epiphany about write a book, and the character's name was Ben or Bennett, and I'm like, I mean, I'm playing basketball. I'm actually
That's like
playing, and
it
it hit me, and I'm like, okay, and that was in June, July. I didn't start writing until October, so it kept festering in me. So it stayed in my spirit. It stayed in my spirit, and I'm like, okay, I'll start writing. That's when I started writing without reading. I just started writing. Now I'm gonna tell you a quick story. One day I was in the house because I didn't tell you this. I didn't have a table or typewriter. That's why I did the first 9 drafts by hand.
Yeah.
But I used an ironing board. I used my mom's ironing board, and I had to tie the ironing board with my mother's scarf because it wasn't stable.
Yeah.
So one day, I'm outside. I'm sorry. I'm in the house. I could hear my friends outside playing. I'm on the 10th floor, and we had no AC, so we had the windows all open. Okay, and I'm writing, and I could hear my friends outside. And I remember looking outside in the blue sky, and I said, "Why am I doing this?" And just like you hear my voice came to me and said, "It's not just about you. Keep writing." So I didn't go to the window like, "That you, Lord." I didn't need that Moses moment. I ain't need anything. So I just turned and kept writing, not knowing that from there,
God was directing your life.
But that calling was there. I knew that kind of confirmed my calling. Another time, I tried to put the book down for like 6 months. I'll never forget this. People kept asking me, "Are you still writing? You still writing? You still writing?" And I'm like, "No." I go home, open up the closet door, manuscript fell down. I was like, "Okay, no more.
Right.
I'm good. I'm good. I'll continue writing." And I never stopped.
Wow, this is fascinating. You guys know I could go on for days, right? And there's so many other things that I would love to talk to you about, and I know that you have also stuff coming up in the future.
I'll come back.
I'd love to invite you back.
Oh,
Yes,
sure.
absolutely. People I have on here are always fascinating. However, as always, we have run out of time, you guys. I appreciate you
I have a
coming
website.
in. Oh, you do? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. We always give those out.
TheHeroBook.com. TheHeroBook.com.
And he's on social media under.
Oh, yeah. Jerald Hoover, and Twitter. I'm all over the place.
Exactly.
Instagram.
So if you go to my Facebook fan page, Get It Got It Good, or Twitter, or IG, or whatever, I'm always tagging this man right here in the post. So just click the link. You can find him that way. You can Google his name. It comes right up. The images and everything, so you know you got the right one.
There you go.
But definitely, you'll have to come back. Today, I want to thank my sponsor, who always do my photo shoots and the businesses that support me, which is Mission Dance Works, Dance Solutions, Youth Outreach. I love the community, too. And JM Photography. Okay? So,
thank you so much.
It's been fun.
Oh, it's been great. It's been great.
Yes, it has. Tune in next Wednesday, as always, on WBGR Health and Wellness channel for us on Get It Got It Good G3. Love you guys. Remember, as always, be an original, because an original is always worth more than a copy. Have a great day.
That was awesome.